Hello guys, welcome to our first HTML tutorial for absolute beginner. I will assume you don't know anything about HTML or programming in general, so I will start by explaining to you guys the true web development technology using a visual diagram of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I can assure you that after this tutorial, you will be an HTML guru. After that, we will deploy our HTML page on Netlify so you can share and play around with it. I know how sweet it is to share our works with friends, so that's why I will give you guys the opportunity to learn how to deploy a HTML page on Netlify. So guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and write some HTML code. Hello guys, welcome back. So if you're an absolute beginner, the first question on your mind right now is what is HTML? Don't be scared, I will explain everything from scratch. I will assume that you have not written a single line of code before, that you are an absolute beginner in HTML. So what is HTML? Let's go to the next slide and see definition of HTML. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is mostly widely used language to write web pages. HTML refers to a way in which web pages, HTML documents, are linked together. The link available on a web page is called hypertext. So don't mistake it. Any link on a web page is called hypertext. As its name suggests, HTML is a markup language, which means you use HTML to simply mark up a text document with tags that tell a web browser how to structure it to display. Originally, HTML was developed with the intent of defining the structure of documents like headings, paragraphs, lists, and so forth. Now, HTML is being widely used to format web pages with the help of different tags available. So this is our basic HTML tag. Don't get scared. Don't think about this if you don't know anything about this. I just want you to see a visual example of our HTML tags. So if you look closely, you will find out that everything here has a opening and closing tag. So about this doc type is not an HTML tag, but it's more like an instruction to the web, an instruction to our browser, telling our browser the type of HTML document to expect. Like, this is the latest development on HTML tag, which is HTML5. So it tells the browser, hey guy, I want you to expect some HTML5 tags here. So it was introduced during the time of HTML5. So with that being said, if you notice, we found out every tag here has an opening and closing tag. The HTML tag is the parent element. It holds the whole HTML tag. Whatever you want it to be displayed on the web page should be inside this HTML tag. So after that comes our head tag. So our head tags holds our title, meta tags, which search engine reads about to know more about our document, to know more about our website. That is what the meta tag is. Although the meta tag is not here, but it's a little bit more advanced. You don't need it right now until where you are more advanced in web development. So with that being said, we also have our body tag. So whatever that is going to be displayed on our document, which is our text, whatever, it should be inside this body tag. The body tag should hold it. It should not be outside the HTML tag, outside the body tag. If you do it that way, it will still be displayed, but that is not the proper way to do it. So whatever you want it to be displayed, it should be inside the body tag. Don't forget, it should be inside the body tag. And never you forget, when you write page one like this, also have a closing bracket, which ends more like an opening instruction and a closing instruction. Okay, let's explain it this way. Hey, this is where I am starting my journey from, and this is where my journey is ending. You get? Okay, nice. So that is how we structure our HTML documents. And some HTML tags have just an opening tag, no closing tag, which we'll get to in our HTML code. So don't bother about that yet. So HTML tag, as told earlier, HTML is a markup language and makes use of various tags to format the content. These tags are enclosed within angle braces. Except few tags, most of the tags have their corresponding closing tags. For example, HTML has its closing tag, and body tag, as I said earlier, has its closing tag. So I got all this image online and screenshot it to explain to you guys better about HTML. So if you're an absolute beginner, with this text alone, you should have a good understanding of what HTML is all about, what HTML tags is all about, how to write HTML tag. Always remember, if you have an opening tag, you should also have a closing tag. So with that being said, let's move forward and see what we have now. So this is a good example of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is used to define structure. CSS and its latest iteration, CSS3, lets us associate visual styles to our structural elements. JavaScript is a programming muscle. It lets you add interactivity. Without both elements, HTML5 will just be a way to tag your content, pretty much like it was in the 1991, which most of you have not born then. So CSS is a presentation. JavaScript determines the behavior. When it clicks on a button, what happens when you hover on a text? How does it act? When you click on a link, does it show a spinner before it loads the web page? So that is what HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is for. So this is the fundamental technology which you need to learn if you want to be a web developer, if you want to be a software developer. So you can see HTML structure. What does it mean? Yeah, what does it mean? So here is another diagram gotten from Edorica, which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can see here HTML is just a skeleton, while here CSS is more like is a style which defines the color and everything. Here with JavaScript, we add more behavior, interactivity to our HTML documents. This is another diagram of HTML. You can see the head, which we talk about, the body, and the foot, just the structural layer. While the CSS is the presentation layer, the presentation, how it looks. Then to add interactivity, to make it looks dynamic, that is when we will add JavaScript. Although we can create a website with just HTML, CSS, and Java, just with HTML and CSS with no interactivity. Maybe you want to just create a blog about a coffee shop, you get. So with that being said, let's go to our next slide. This is a very good diagram again about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So while I'm showing you guys this diagram, I want you to, because pictures explain better, I want you to understand, to view, and get to think about what HTML is all about. You can see here, HTML is just a bone, a dead bone, a bone that can't do anything, a skeleton. You get just a text, a presentation. So while our CSS beautify our website, makes it look good, the colors, the everything, while our JavaScript is more like the brain, the blood, the windpipe, everything that flows around our website, the beauty, the good interaction that goes in our website, that is the JavaScript. So with that being said, let's get started and get dirty and learning some HTML code. And mind you, I'll be writing some CSS code because HTML is pretty ugly without any bit of CSS. So I will make some style, but you don't need to bother about the style unless you really want to learn CSS now. But for now, I just need you to learn HTML. Practice. Mind you, if you don't practice, you won't grow. So don't just write the code, don't just jot down the code. Practice on your PC. Practice, write on sheet of papers, then practice again. Then you can be excellent, you can be a guru in HTML. Then you can move to more advanced level like CSS, JavaScript, React.js. Let me not make you get scared by the name. Don't just bother about those. But if you want to be a pro web developer, you should know those. Okay, guys. Before writing some code, the first thing we need to do right now is get our Visual Studio Code installed. So let's go to our web browser. So we use code editors to write code. So let's search for Visual Studio Code. So you can use Atom, you can use Sublime Text, but most of the time you get to see people using Visual Studio Code because Visual Studio Code is the best out there, is actually the best you can find out there, which is free, absolutely free, and it has a large community of people working on it. So let's go ahead and open Visual Studio Code. Right, good. So you can download Visual Studio Code here. So when you click on the link, it will ask you, I guess it will ask you for which you want to download, or it should not automatically your PC, which PC you are using. Okay, yeah, to ask you. So you can download for Windows, you can download for Mac, you can download for Linux. So with that being said, I already have Visual Studio downloaded, but if I don't have Visual Studio Code downloaded yet, I can click on this, which is for 32-bit. But if your PC is 64-bit, you can click on the 64-bit here. So click on any of these. So with that being said, let's assume you have clicked on yours and yours is done downloading. Then let me show you guys how to create a file. So when first thing you need to do, you can right click anywhere on your PC, any free space. I can't right click on this, I can't right click on this, like I can right click on any free space. So when you right click on it, you will see something like this, new. So you create a folder. Guys have to create a folder. So let's name our folder our first HTML page. Perfect. So now double click on the folder, left click, double click on it, open. Now you can actually leave it this way. So let's leave it this way for now and go to our Visual Studio Code to get it started. So you click on open with code. Okay. So right here we have our Visual Studio Code open, and if you're opening Visual Studio Code for the first time, this is what you should see. You should see something like this, although you won't have any recent project yet, but you should see something like this. Okay, so let's close this up and create our first HTML page. So when you click on this, you see something like new file, new folder, and refresh Explorer. But don't mind these two yet, just mind this, create new folder and new file. So we'll go ahead and create a new file. So first thing you need to know about writing HTML code is whatever you want it to be your home page, whenever a user visits your page, the first thing they should see, it should be named index.html. If not, your website won't be seen by a browser when someone search for it. So the only way to make it seen is using index.html. When you use index.html, then any other thing like splash, about, links with your home URL, which is your index.html/about. So the first thing to do is give your home page the name of index. There's no other way to do it. It is only this way. So make sure the name is saved as index, meaning the home page of my website. So the home page where the user can navigate to other pages on my website, that is the index page. So another thing you should be mindful of is the extension. Like if you're writing a CSS code, which is cascading style sheet, you write it with index.css, which is the CSS homepage, dot the extension, which is .css. Now we are writing HTML, so we should give it an extension of .html. If it is JavaScript, we give it an extension name of .javascript. For this is just HTML page, so we'll give it a name of .html. It is a must. If you're writing HTML, you must give it .html, nothing more, nothing less. Nice. So I hope you guys really understand. But if you still have any question based on the explanation, based on the slide, which I will have the slide linked up on my GitHub page, and I will drop the GitHub URL on the comment box, so you can have the full document, the full HTML tutorial on your PC. You practice with it and get to learn more. But this is the most index.html, about.html, whatever it might be, but make sure it is saved with index.html. Nice. So let's go ahead and save and click enter. Oh, perfect. My PC is quite slow, that's why it's doing like this. So I have some extension installed on my PC, which you don't need to think about now. Extension is more like a way to write code faster and easier. So I will just hit I'll just hit this, and I have a met installed already, which is shift and this exclamation mark. So I'll hit on enter, and I have a basic HTML template here. So as I said earlier, I won't bother you guys about this meta tag. because you don't need to learn it for now. But what this meta tag is, this meta tag is more like an instruction to search engine, an instruction to our web browser. So what we write on these meta tags are our website keyword, what our website is all about, what when a user search for code UI and the online, is something I should put on this meta tag, like the author, the developer, things like that. Information which search engine need to read to identify your website. So that is what we put most time on this meta tag. But right here, the basic things we have is this weight device for mostly exactly is for making the website a little bit responsive, but it won't be that responsive. Then this one is to make it compatible in internet edge. And so this HTML, you can see it has another attribute here, which is language English. Lang English, it can be French, it can be whatever you want it to be. So now we have this doctor.html. Remember, I told you guys it is not an HTML tag, it's more like an instruction and information given to our browser, telling our browser what kind of document it should expect. Okay, if we have a navigation, a nav tag here, the web browser might not understand what is a nav bar, but for we telling it that you expect HTML5 document with this instruction, okay, it should be like the web browser should know that, oh, this user is going to throw some HTML5 documents. I want you guys to be ready for it. So that is what the doc type is all about. So if you notice, still the way we explain it on the slide, the HTML tag is holding everything in your document. Let me add some space so you see it better. You can see the HTML tag is holding everything in our document, holding everything. Then the head tag is holding things more important. Like if we are writing inline CSS on our document, this is where we are going to write it inside the head tag, like this. Okay, let me just write style to complete it for me out like this. So with that being said, let's leave it this way for now. So style is also a HTML tag which allows us to write some CSS in our HTML document. So with that being said, I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, so let's change this title. Okay, let me load this page right now so you see what the title is all about. Okay, so never you forget, guys. Okay, nothing will be displayed right now because we don't have any document on our web page, but this you can see here. I don't know if you guys can see. You can follow my mouse, my cursor, so you can see here it is called document because that is the title of our web page. That is the web page title. You know, before, back in the 90s, we just used HTML for more like communication, a way to display information to people. But now HTML is more advanced than that. So now let's quickly change the document to. So now, guys, let's edit this document. Let's change it to our first HTML page. Our first HTML page. Perfect. So let's see it now. Let's see the result. Okay. Okay, it not. Let's refresh. You can see our first HTML page. So that is more like the title, what our web page is all about. You get, guys? So that is just it. It's self-explanatory, nothing much to read. So before that, let's take out this stuff so it will be easier for us to read this code. Let's take it out and let's take this out. So just know that all these are available to us. Our web page can still work without it. So, but we'll leave this style because we're writing some CSS here. So with that being, why do I have to but? Oh, I didn't see this. I made a mistake. Okay, perfect. So sometimes a user might disable JavaScript on our browser. So I want this to be the first code we'll actually write, the first HTML code. So let's also write an inline JavaScript here. So this script tag is also an HTML tag which allow us to write JavaScript in our document. So to do that, let's just write some basic JavaScript. We don't need to worry about this now. Don't need to worry about it. It's a plain JavaScript. Okay. Then, okay. Perfect. So for example, maybe a user wants to disable JavaScript. Maybe for some reason the user don't like seeing some interaction on the web page. Maybe for some reason a user wants to disable JavaScript. There's another tag called no script. So no scripts actually allows us to tell the user, because you disable JavaScript, social features in your website won't work. Just more like an error message, or a way to tell a user that because you disable JavaScript, so thing can't work. You need to turn on JavaScript back. So we can use no script and we can send a message like, hello, you need to okay, please don't mind my typical error. You need to enable JavaScript. Yes. Okay, this is our first HTML tag here. So we have a no script. A no script tag help us to help us to tell a user to enable JavaScript. Maybe JavaScript is not turned on. So, and this script tag allows us to write JavaScript inside our HTML code. So you have all this code available to you on my GitHub page, so you can learn and practice. Allows us to enable to write. So that is it. Don't forget, this allows us, and this return a message to the user in case if the user turn off JavaScript. So we can actually write JavaScript inside our HTML document, or we can create a separate file for it. So with that being said, I guess now let's start adding some document into our HTML body tag. So here is our body tag, and this is our head tag holding everything. Where is our opening body tag? Oh, I made a mistake here. There should be a body tag here, which I erased by mistake before. Mind you, you can use capital letter. You can use capital letter here. Okay, perfect. So now we have our body tag here. All we need to do now is write some HTML. So I will start by teaching you guys how to write H1, which stands for header. So H1 is more like a way of displaying a content to a user, but most time it is used to display maybe your website name or a very important information you get. So it is a way to display information based on how important it is, and when someone search for our website something related to that particular information will pop up to the user. And this is something most guys don't teach beginners about. So using H1 tags is not just for making a text big and bold, it also corresponds to search engine. Like when someone search for something on our website, there's 90% chance that Google will rank this top or bring this message to the user, because it feels that this particular information it is important. That's why it is on our H1 tag. So our H1 tag we have from H1 to H6. From H1 to H6. So with that being said, let's quickly write something to be displayed on our web page. So if we look at our web page right now, nothing will be displayed because I think we need to turn off the JavaScript, so we'll stop getting this alert message. So if you see, we don't have anything inside the inside this our markup, inside the DOM, which is document object model. We don't have anything here because remember, HTML is more like a document. It's a document, a way to display text content to the user. So if you don't add any text to it, nothing will be displayed. So for something to be displayed on the web page, we need to add a text to it. So let's quickly do that now. Okay. Hello world. Hello world. I can't believe I'm writing some code. Okay, you can add whatever you want. You can and just make it pretty unique. So without being said, guys, let's quickly see what we have. But before we do that, let's take out this code. I won't take out the script. let's take out the, just know that this is where you can write some HTML code, JavaScript code to see. Okay, you can see we have hello world. I can't believe I'm writing some code. Okay, let's duplicate this, guys. You can use Ctrl+C. It will make your life much easier as a software developer. You should know how to copy and you should know how to paste. So Ctrl+C is for copy on Windows. I don't know for Mac. I don't use Mac. I've not used Mac before. So Ctrl+C is for Windows. And Ctrl+D is to edit things at once. I can use Ctrl+D for that. I can use Ctrl+V to paste. So let's edit this to H2. Okay, perfect. And edit this to H3. Remember we have two H6, so we have to edit everything. H4, good. H5. So let's do one more for H6. We have to H6, so H5. Okay, perfect. Let's edit this also. Okay, H6. So let's see what we have now. You can see how bold this is and how big this is and how small this is. Okay, if you have to look at this stuff, the first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, this text is very important and this is less important and this is more less important. Then you get to the H6. So that is it, guys. This is how our H1 and H6 tag looks like. So this H6, it is advisable to put it on the footer, although you might not know what is called footer now, which I will explain later in the future. So you just stick around and you get to learn what footer is all about. So with that being said, let's talk about p tag. So why do we use p tag? Most times we need a paragraph on our website, maybe some space to tell a user that this is another paragraph on our website. That is when we use the p tag. So to use the p tag, you just write p, and don't forget, when you write a tag, it always have an opening and closing tag. This is the opening p tag and this is the closing p tag. So to edit it, to write, all we need to do now is write some text to it. Okay, let's add lorem text, which stands for mumbo jumbo, just random text, not actually a real text, just a way to populate some text on our document. Okay, you can see, okay, let me make the web browser a little bit small now. You don't need to be too big. Okay, you can see now, you can see the result. Let's also make this a little bit smaller. Okay, and take this to this side. No, I don't want it to occupy the browser. So that's good. Okay, perfect. So now you can see. So for example, if we want a paragraph, it is self-explanatory if you understand English. A paragraph is a way to write another block of information, another block of text. So to make another paragraph, you can just copy this stuff and you can see it will leave some space. It will leave some space here, then start this text from another paragraph. So if you understand English, it will be easier for you to understand what the paragraph, the p tag actually does. So let's see it now. You can see there's a space here, then it starts from another row or another column. You can see this is what the paragraph text actually do. So for example, you want to send a mail to someone, or you want someone to click on a link on your website and it takes the person to his or her email address to send a mail to you. You must have seen this several times on website. So we can accomplish something like that with an a tag. So before we write the a tag, I will quickly show you guys header and nav, because what I want to show you guys that because it is best to put anything link on a header text to show that on a nav, inside a nav tag, to show that this particular text, this particular stuff is a link. It is a link to somewhere. It is important. The user need to click on it to link to somewhere, to go to somewhere. So let's quickly add our header. So our header should be here, somewhere here. You can write it anywhere to still work. That is HTML for you. So let's write header. And write our nav, which is an HTML5 tag, which allows us to write some nav. Okay, you can see how our HTML, how everything is changing, giving some space here, although nothing is on the document yet, but because of that we are having some space here already. Because of it, all these tags have a default CSS styles. They have a default CSS styles. So that's why we are having a little style, a little space here, a little margin here, because all these elements has a default style. So with that being said, let's quickly add our A tag. So most time this nav stands for navigation, navigation. Okay, now we want to create some A tag inside this navigation. And mind you guys, you can actually do this stuff anywhere, but it is most time you see this stuff at the beginning of your website, which also helps search engine robots to read our web page and know and read it and know where to get some certain stuff based on where it is being arranged with the HTML document. So we can also place this anywhere, this nav anywhere, it will still work. That is HTML for you. We can do it anywhere, guys. So let's write some A tag, which stands for anchor tag. So anchor tag by default, it does not do anything, but for it to do something, there's an attribute called href. So what is href? Href means is more like, where do you want to go? Where do you want this to take you to? And remember, you must keep it simple. You must write a text that tells the user where you are taking the user to. So the first thing you need to do is add a link to a web page, to Google, wherever you want it to take you to. But for now, I want to create a link for a user to send an email to me. So there's something called mail to. So a mail to enables us to add our email address to the anchor tag. So I'll add my email address to it, called uiandy@gmail.com. Okay, so let me add some text here. I would like to hear from you. Why don't you send me a mail? Send me a mail. I would like to hear from you. Why don't you send me a mail? Okay. When we click on this now, let's see what happens. You can see it prompts for my email address. Do I want to send this email using Google? Do I want to send it using my default email? So let's click this and see what happens. Load files, my PC is slow. Okay, it's still loading, but you get the point. That is the way to do it. I can't wait for it to load. So that is how to actually do it, guys. So you should always enable to write a text that determines, that lets the user know where you are taking he or her to. So make sure you keep it simple. Good. So with that being said, this is not just what we do with the anchor tag. We can also create a separate another page on our HTML document. So let's create another page. So click on new file and call it about, because we can't name it index because it's now our index page. It is now our home page. And note, we can't have two index pages at the same time. You can see about.html. Okay, so let me just do this and get some HTML document here and change this to about. Change this to um, H1. Read about me. Read about me. Okay, perfect. So now let's link this page. Let's link the page. So to link this page, all we need to do is take out this stuff, take it out, and call our about page. So we name it about.html, and that is what we are going to add here now, about.html. You can see, make sure you add the extension to read.html. So now let's also change the text, because you have to keep it simple. You have to let the user know where you're taking it, he or her to. So don't just write any text here. And note, if you don't write any text here, nothing will be displayed. So for something to be displayed, don't forget you must add a text. Don't do that mistake. You must add a text. So we can write about me. So when the user say about me, the user should know that, okay, let me read about this guy. The user should know what to do there. So when you click about me, let's see what happened. It takes you to the about me page. So this is a way to navigate from page to page on our HTML document. So with that being said, let's treat image tags. So this is not just what we can do. We can also get an external link. So let me go to, where should I go to? Let me go to my Twitter. Should I go to my Twitter? Okay, let me go to my Twitter and copy this URL and close this back and paste this here. Don't allow me to do that. So you can see https dot. So you can post other links to this place, and our HTML will still be able to read what this link is all about. So now let's change this also to my Twitter, my tweet. Okay, and click on it. Okay, my Wi-Fi is pretty slow. Let's wait for it to load this time around. Let's just wait. And this stuff is so slow, or is my data exhausted? Anyway, guys, you get the point. So that is how to do it. You can test it on your PC and it will work absolutely fine. So let's leave it this way. And now let's learn how to work with images, then we'll go to videos and the rest. So what I'm going to do now, I'll go to my downloads. I have some images. So let me go get some images. So I have some images on my download. Let me go here. Okay, let me go to downloads. And okay, let's take this. Let's take this and put it somewhere here. Okay, guys, if you're working on a production website, so it is advisable to create a folder for this image. So we won't create a folder here, but if you're working on a big project, it is advisable to create a separate folder for the images, because you won't be having just one image. You'll be having more than one images. You will have bulk of images. So it is advisable to create a folder for it, but because it's just a demo, it's just a practice, we'll be creating a folder now to keep it simple. So let's quickly add an image here before the H6, before the H1. You can put an image anywhere in your HTML document. So the image tag, we write it by just calling img. Okay, then the source. What is source? Source is more like href. It's more like href, but this is an attribute for image. src is an attribute for image, and href is an attribute for the anchor tag. So the src is asking us, where are you getting the image from? Are you getting the image from online, or are you getting the image from your local machine, which is your local environment, which is this. So I can say yes, I'm getting it from my local machine, and I'll call the name of the image. Okay, it's meant to suggest the image to me, but since it is not, let me rename this image to my logo. And if you are new to web development, what you should always remember is that every file, everything on the web, everything on your PC has its extension. Like this image has .png. Some images have .jpeg, .jpg. So you should always look out for the format. And this is the mistake most beginners do, and they struggle with it and get tired of software development and think, ah, this stuff is not for me. Because I have seen this stuff in so many web development group chats on Facebook. They'll post, why is my image not working? Why your image is not working is based because your extension is not correct. That is it. If you put png for jpeg image, it won't be displayed on your web browser. You must make sure you always check out for the format. Like this is png. If I write jpeg, it won't work. If I write jpeg, it won't work, unless I write the format the way it is. So let's write it now, my logo dot png, and see the results. Let's close this and bring back our browser and refresh. You can see here it is. So to show you guys what I'm talking about, let's change this to jpg and see what happens. You can see nothing is showing. So I've seen this stuff countless time online. Please, if you know someone that struggles with HTML today and still tells you I'm a pro in HTML, please direct the person, share this video with the person so the person will learn all this basic stuff. So sometimes what you can see another attribute here called the auth. Sometimes our image might fail to load, maybe because it is too large on the database, or it is too big, or for some reason, or we fail to upload it successfully. So this alt tag, or maybe we have a slow connection like I'm having right now and the image failed to load. So this alt tag is an alternative. It's more like an alternative to the image. If the image failed to load, the alt attribute is an alternative. So what it will do, it will display a text. So I can display a text to my visitors, my logo. So when the user see this, we should know that, oh, the logo is missing. Let me refresh my web browser. You can see my logo because the source, the extension is not correct. That is why my logo is being displayed. But remember, this alt is more like an alternative. So if the source and the image is showing, it won't show this my logo. So let's see this in a practical example. Let's change this to png and see what happens. Okay, my logo.png. Okay, you can see my logo is out, my logo text is out. You can see you can't find it anywhere on our document anymore. Okay, that is pretty much it. So now let's work with video tag. Let me get a video, sir. I also have a video here. Video. Which one should I get here? I don't watch movies on my PC. Okay, I think I have a short video here. Okay, let me take this and drop it here. Remember also, you can always create a folder for all this. You can also create a folder. Most time videos will always come as mp4 format. It always come as an mp4 format, so you can make sure check out for that, and it can come as mv something, but most times it comes as mp4. So always check out for the extension. If the extension is not correct, the video or the image won't be displayed, just as if the html format is not correct. So with that being said, let's write our video tag. So let's add it beneath this image. Should I do it there? Okay, maybe let's just add it somewhere here so it won't look somehow. Video. Okay, so guys, there's something called HR, which means horizontal line. It is what I want to use it to show you guys an example of some HTML tag that does not have a closing tag, like the HR tag. You can see it does not have a closing tag. You write it this way, nothing like a closing tag to read. You can see. So that is how the HR. So let me show you what the HR tag looks like. You can see this line, which stands for horizontal line. We don't have a vertical line, so don't think of using VR. There's nothing like a vertical line. You can see. Okay, you can see our video is not showing, so let's make our video show now. So let's quickly write the source. Okay, so video. Okay, so let's see what we have now. You can see the video. There's nowhere to play this video because something is missing. Let me show you guys what that is missing. And there's something I forgot to show you guys. If you don't want to use CSS to style this video, there's another way to do it. You can actually add a weight to it and a height. A weight by this. This weight stands for the weight. It's self-explanatory if you read English. The weight, how big it is, how fat it is. That is the weight. Then the height is more like how tall, how long it is. So that is what the height means. So let's give it maybe 400 pixels should be okay. Let's see what we have. You can see there's no way to play this video. So there's something called controls also. You can add it to it. It's another attribute for it to show some controls to it. Okay, you can see now we can play our video. And mind you, if you're using another browser, every browser has their own way of adding control. So if you're using Internet Explorer, it should be different from mine. If you're using Firefox, whatever it might be, it should be different from mine. But let's say using Chrome. You can see. So if you want to learn how to create it online, you can actually go to my channel, check this video on my channel. It is form validation. So you can see. You can move it that is how to add video to our document. So now let's add our audio tag. So I'll add another horizontal line here. Horizontal line. So guys, please practice. If you don't practice, you forget these tags. Practice. And note, this width that we added to this video, we can also add it to the image. So if you want, you can add it. Okay, that is it. So let's maybe add an audio here. Audio. Okay, let's get an audio. Do I have any audio on my PC? I don't think so. Oh, I have got some. So let me, I guess they will warn me for using this audio. So I don't have copyright for it. Let me go and get another audio for my downloads. Unless YouTube will warn me for using it. I've been warned before, so I've learned my lesson. So let's take this here and add some beats to our HTML code and make our web page look awesome, guys. So let's quickly add, where is it? Okay, let's edit the name, rename. We can name it anything we want. Audio and the source. Remember the source, where is it located? Never you forget it, guys. So it's called audio.mp3. Don't forget the extension. So let's see what we have now. Why is it not showing? Let's refresh. So why is it not showing? I think maybe I'm okay. Oh, sorry guys, we failed to add control to it. should also have a control attribute controls. That's why it wasn't showing. So let's see. Oh, here it is now. Okay. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. So let's dance to the beat, guys. Let's increase our volume. Sorry. Let's increase our volume. Okay. We can mute it. We can play around with it. Okay, let's dance. Hope you are dancing. If you're sleeping already, make sure you stand up and dance right now. Okay. Hope you're dancing. Hope you're scratching that beat, guys. Let's have some fun. You know, sometimes just have to let go of everything and have fun a little bit to put your brain back on track. Okay, our website is looking a little bit pretty now. So I think guys, let me teach you guys how to use something called div. So guys, with that being said, let's talk about order lists. There's something called order list. So we have two type of lists, two type of way to write lists. There's something called order list and unorder list. So I won't explain it to you guys, but I'll just write the code. Then I'm sure when I'm done with it, you should have a visual understanding of what order list and unorder list is all about. So to write a list, we first of all write an opening and closing tag with OL, which stands for order list. Order list. So the LI stands for the list, which is LI. You close it, it has an opening and closing tag. So the first thing you need to do, maybe let's write mango, then write another list, LI, you close it, and write maybe orange, then you write another tag, LI, and call it I can't remember any fruit again. Okay, let's see what we have now on our document. You can see this list now. It is arranged with 1, 2, 3. It is arranged numerically, but if you use something called unorder list, it will have a bullet point instead of numbers. So let's change this to UL, which stands for unorder, which is UL. It is self-explanatory. Then you can see the difference. Unorder list has bullet point, while order list has numbers. So if you want to make a list on your website, this is how to do it using order list and unorder list. So with that being said, let me teach you guys something I should have done earlier, which is how to use div. And I realized something here. This stuff should be header and not head. It was a mistake by the auto completion. So it should be header and not head. We can't have two head. These two different things you get. So the explanation remained this. I was making explanation based on header and not head. So guys, without being said, let's go down and continue. So now let me teach you guys how to use div. So what is div? Div is just a way of styling block, like a way of styling block elements at the same time. A way of styling block element at the same time. Like our HTML element is either a block element or an inline element. This stuff might be too hard for you to swallow right now, but there's something called block and inline element on HTML. So block elements are elements that can't stand side by side. Like I can't have two div standing side by side. Like let me show you guys an example. So let me take this div and maybe put this UL inside. Put this UL inside. Okay, put another UL. Okay, you can see this is a block element. This div is a block element, and this UL is also a block element. So because of that, they can't stand side by side. But something like anchor tag is an inline element. You can have more than like 10 anchor tag right here to keep lining up because it is an inline element. So you don't need to worry about this. It's something that you will learn better. You have a visual understanding of it when you are learning CSS. But now for HTML, don't actually bother yourself about which tag is an inline element and which tag is a block element. So let me take this stuff. So a span is an example of an inline element. For example, maybe I want to style this mango. I want to give it a separate style. Let me also close it here, add the span here, and style this. So I'll write CSS style here, so don't bother about it, this is just CSS style. So let me give it a color of red, and see what we have. So one of the lists you have, you can see mango has a color of red. So that is how to start a span, and you can see, but if I added div to this stuff, the code will actually break. Not that it won't show something, to show something, but it will actually break because you can't use two block elements can't stand side by side like this. It have to go to the next row. So with that being said, guys, if there's still anything you don't understand, comment or you can mail me at codeuimd@gmail.com. So guys, that's it. So let's go ahead and learn forms. Let's learn how to use form, because one thing about website is that you keep creating forms and you have form where you can communicate with your user, where you can request for them to subscribe to your newsletter, so many things like that. So let me teach you guys how to create form, then buttons. So let's create form. Okay. So inside our form tag, we'll have input element. So input element always have a type which we define which type of input tag you are working with. So to specify the type, you have something called type. Self-explanatory. What type of input is this? Okay, let's call it email, which is HTML5 attribute, and we can close it. Okay, we can close it. Let's see what we have. So it is a self-closing tag. So let's write something not that is not an email. You can see it said please include an @ so it is trying to validate the stuff, and it found out that this is not a valid email address. But if I put something valid, it won't show me that warning. But if I put something like not that is not a valid email address, I will get that warning when I hit enter. You can see the error message. So that is a way of validating email, of using input type of email. And we also have the one called password, which you guys must have seen time without number on website. So we give it a type of password. The names are self-explanatory. With the word, you should know what you are doing there. So let's see what we have. You can see input elements are example of inline elements. You can see they are standing side by side. But if it's a block element, it will actually leave this row and go to the next row. So that is a very big example of inline element and block element. So now when I type, we can see I can't see what I'm typing because this is actually input type of password. So there are so many types, so I would advise you guys, there is so many types. There's type of checkbox, which I won't cover because of time. There is type of you can also add submit to it, create a submit button with it. So there is so many types, but what that matters is what you are building. So you can go to w3.com, w3schools.com, and learn all the CSS types, input type. You can search input types on Google and it will show you all the input types available to us. We just want you guys to know that we have more than this. This is what most YouTube tutorials they don't talk about, but we have more than that. So now let's put a type of submit to create a submit button. Okay, so now you can see we have a submit type of button. It's not an input but a submit type of button, and you can see this stuff is here, but if the space is near enough right now, it will break in and go to the next column. So that is how to actually create forms with HTML. So with CSS, you can actually validate this to actually add beauty to it, add when you click on it, how the color should change, all those kind of stuff. So there are so many things you can do with CSS to make a web page beautiful. So with that being said, guys, now I'll go ahead and teach you guys how to create tables. And that will treat footer, button. But let me add a button to this. It is also an HTML element. If you don't want to use the input type of submit, you can just create a button. an input type of button, so let's call it submit also. Submit and see what we have. Okay, you can see it's also the same thing with the button. So it is better, it is more advisable to use this type. It is more modelized than using the olden days type of submit button. So with that being said, guys, let's learn how to create table, then we'll learn footer. And okay, before that, guys, before that, there's so many things to cover in HTML, but all I cover in this video is something I know you use every day in your life as a software developer, with more like a stepping stone where you should start. You get. So let me show you guys something called delete, mark, something you might not use. You might actually do it with CSS. So there's another tag called delete, del. Okay, let's close it with this. So it should always wrap the text and see what we have. So you can see this stuff is cancelled. Maybe you're trying to tell a user that, hey user, this stuff is cancelled, I don't want you to touch this. Or maybe you're trying to create a to-do list whereby when a user is done with the to-do, you can click on it to cancel it. So there's so many things you can do with HTML. So we also have something called mark. Most time you're doing this stuff with CSS, but I just want you to know all this stuff are available to you, and there are so many HTML tags out there that you will never use in your HTML career. But I just want you guys to know it all are very available to you. You can see a mark on it. So you can check W3 School for other HTML tags and learn, but this is a very good way to start learning HTML, knowing all these stuff, things that I know that you use every day in your life as a web developer. So with that being said, guys, let's create table now, and we are done with this tutorial. Thanks for sticking around, guys. It is not easy to stay alert and learn all this stuff bit by bit. So now let's go ahead and learn how to use table. So the first thing we need to do right now is to add our table tag, which has an opening and closing tag. So next, the name is self-explanatory. To create a table, you have to put your table tag first. Then after that, you can add your tr. Then you can add your th, which stands for table header. And you can call this maybe name. You know what, I'll just write down the code and I'll explain to you guys why you see the result on my browser. So let's change this to age, and let's add another one. Remember, Ctrl+C to copy, Ctrl+V to paste. So let's change this to favorite color. Okay, perfect. So let's duplicate this again. So guys, all you need to do is, like, you should practice this code, practice, sleep, wake up, practice, come back 3 days time, practice. With that, this stuff will actually stick on your head. If you don't do that, you won't learn. So the first thing to do now is change all this stuff to TD, which stands for table data. So let's change this stuff TD. Made a mistake here. TD. So now the thing I'm going to do now is I will change this first row. This first row stands for the first person, which is the first person we are going to have on our HTML document, which is Andy. Andy is 20 years. Count 20 years. And my favorite color is blue. So I'll put down blue here. So let's wait for another user on our page. So let's duplicate this code again and paste it here. So let's press Ctrl+V to paste it and change this to maybe Shimobi, and Shimobi is I guess 25, and his favorite color is yellow. Okay, then let's do the last one, which should be John Doe. Okay, let's call him John Doe. John Doe, his favorite color, his age is, man, this guy is old. Should be 99 plus. Should be 99 plus. Then his favorite color is the web. It is a color like that. So let's just give this stuff a little bit of style to make you can see you won't actually understand what's happening here. Okay, let's leave it this way. So you can see the name here is Andy. Andy is how many years? 20 years. Favorite color is blue. So for each user, the first table data is for the first user. So you can't actually put Andy Shimobi Ebere here. You can't do it like that. All you need to do is for the first user info should be here, another user info should be here, another user info should be here, or the first data should be here, whatever you want to do. But always know that the data relating to Andy should be the thing that should be here, and the data relating to Shima Obi should be the info that will be here. So that is how it was. You can see Andy Shimobi, then John Doe. John Doe is 99 plus. His favorite color is the web. So guys, that is pretty much everything on HTML for beginners. So let's quickly add some basic style rules to this page. Then after that, we are going to host it on Netlify, so you guys can actually share links to your friends and show them your progress on web development. So it's something I know you guys will actually love to learn as a beginner. That's why I decided to show you guys how to, because when I started, I can remember I bought a host from someone, which I'm not supposed to, because I don't know there's a free hosting platform where I can host my work and show it to friends. So let's go ahead and give some styles to this page. You can see it's pretty dumb. Okay, so let's start by, so guys, without being said, let me teach you guys how to style your HTML document. I'm not actually going through CSS right now, but because I want to host this stuff on Netlify, so you guys can actually show the website to your friends. You can actually get a friend image. It's not must you use my image. So I can remember when I started web development, I had to buy domain I was hosting from someone. It was a shared domain, and the person actually took a lot of money from me to get that, because I just wanted to show friends what I'm doing right now, and I don't know about anything called free hosting or free domain. So because of that, I don't want you guys to go through that, to go through my mistake. So let's style this nav tag. We can style it by calling the name nav. Let's give it a background color of maybe red. No, let's not do that. Orange. Okay. Let's give it a height. Text align center. Okay. Enter. So let's style the enter. So guys, don't bother about all this stuff. Let's style it. Color white with a white color. Let's see what we have. Okay, perfect. So let's style the image. IMG. So mind you guys, this is not a CSS tutorial, but I just want the web page to look a little bit good. That's why I'm styling it before putting it on Netlify. Although Netlify won't want me for not styling it, but I just want it to look a little bit good. So let's give it a width of 100% viewport width, and the height of 50% viewport height. Okay. 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 Better. So now let's style this text. So for us to style this text at once, let's add a div. I hope you guys have not forgotten what div is for. That's why you should jot everything down while you learn, so you can actually go back to it. So let's style this div, and let's cover this div also. Okay, this is where the h is end. Let's cover it. No, sorry. Okay, perfect. So never forget, when you make an opening tag, never forget to add a closing tag. So let's give this a class. So a class is a way of selecting your HTML element when you have more than one particular HTML element on the document. Because we have more than one div on this document, that's why I'm using the class attributes. So let's call this h headers. Then to call it on our CSS, we'll use the dot notation, which is this. Then call the headers, color, background color, orange. Let's see what we have now. Okay, you can see our website is looking a little bit better than before. So anyway, let me not waste you guys time. There's so many things that can be done here, and it is not actually good like this. So let me host this stuff online right now. So I'll go ahead and host it on Netlify. Guys, I'll show you guys how to host it right now. So guys, I have Netlify open right here, so you can search for it using www.netlify.com. so you can see the home page. So I'll click on login right now. Let's wait for it to load. And okay, while it loads, okay, we are done. So the good thing about Netlify is that you can actually connect it to your GitHub, which mine is connected already. So these are projects that I've posted here for clients. So let me minimize this stuff right now. So what we are going to do now is we are going to drag and drop this, our first HTML page, to Netlify. So let's minimize this page and drag this to this side. So all you need to do is hold your left key, hold it and drag it and drop it here. Very easy to host on Netlify. So let's wait for it to load. You can see uploading. So guys, there's so many things you can do with HTML. You can learn it. There's so many codes I didn't cover which you still need to learn. The site has not been deployed yet, so let's wait for it. So actually, go to W3 School. They have so many articles on HTML. Go there, learn code. But all the code I cover on these tutorials are codes that I know you use every day as a web developer. So that's why I put so much effort and try as much as I can to explain it to you guys. So guys, try and subscribe to the channel, and while we wait for this stuff to upload, I'm going to pause this video right now and wait for it to upload, and I'll resume. So guys, I'll quickly pause this video right now. So guys, it is done uploading. You can see this URL here, so you can click on it right now and open your HTML page. So this is how to host your website on Netlify. Very easy to do. So let's see our page. You can see it, just the same thing we had. So now you can share the link to friends, you can style it, share the link to friends. I just want you guys to know how to host your website with Netlify. So this is the URL, you can share it and you can see it is secured with HTTPS protocol. So you can just copy it and share with friends. Okay guys, that is pretty much everything. So please guys, enable to subscribe right now. If I'm able to get enough subscribers right now, and that determines if I'm going to do a CSS video or not. So please guys, just subscribe right now, and